Hi friends, this is Mrs. Edwards. I wanted to go over with you the directions for your optional Q3 grade improvement project that you can do for your reading grade. This is the directions page that you have received. It does outline for you the standards that this covers. Basically, you'll be looking at some informational texts that you get to choose from to look at details and examples, the main idea of the text, and then write a little bit about that to explain it. All you need for materials, you're going to need the texts themselves. You have a set of organizers that I'm going to show you in a moment, and then something either to write with, or you can do that on the computer, which is what I'm going to show you how to do. Your parents should not have to help you other than helping you be able to get to the texts themselves, open them up, whether it's on a computer or a phone or whatever. This is something that we've planned that you can be able to do that. So let me give you a quick overview of it. What you're going to do is read some texts, and you can choose to read 3, 4, or 5 of the texts. You actually are going to have 10 to choose from. That I'm going to show you in a moment. And what you need to decide is how many bonus points would you like to have added to your grade. So I'm going to do is scroll down for you here. I'll go over the rest of this in a minute. I want to show you this grading scale right here. This grading scale is going to show you what you can earn to get a grade level. So if you have, right now, you will have received, by the time that you get this information, you will have received what your grade was for Q3 in your ELA classes. If you have, let's say that you have a grade right now of an 80, for example. Right now, that would be a C right here, because 75 to 84 is a C. But you want to be able to get a B. Well, you only need 5 points to get yourself to a B. So you could do 5 of the texts and documents that we have here, and that would give you a grade of a B for your final grade for Q3. Now, that's not your overall final grade for the year, but it will raise your Q3 grade. So I just wanted to explain that part of it first. You might only, let's say that you have an 82, and you only need 3 points to get up to that B. Well, then you don't have to do 5 of the texts. You can choose to just do 3 of them, because that might be all you need to get up to that next level. So I wanted to explain that part of it first. You have to do at least 3. We're not allowed to do any less than 3 points for this assignment, and we're not allowed to give any more than 5. So you can choose to do 3 or 4 or 5 of them. So I just want to make sure that I explain that first. So the first thing you're going to do, let me go over to the texts and show them to you. So this is the document with all of the texts in them. There are 10 of them, and they're all nonfiction, real story texts. And they are around this theme called Free to Be You and Me. All of these texts are about a person or a group of people that have had some sort of a challenge that makes them different from others. And so what happens is you're going to look at your table of contents and decide which ones are the most interesting to you that you really want to read. Because again, you have 10, but you're going to get a point for each one that you do if you do 3 or 4 or 5. So you don't have to read all of them. And you're going to just decide which one just seems to appeal to you. I do want to point out one thing. You see right here where it says Lexile. That number is going to give you an idea of the level of reading that that particular text might be. In 4th grade, the typical texts that we would read are going to be generally around anywhere from 750 to around 900. And so if you read something that's a little bit higher than that, up in the 900s and 1000s Lexile level, that's going to be closer to your 5th grade reading level, high 4th grade reading level. If you come down and you look, some of these are going to be, this is going to be kind of your average 4th grade level reading right here in like the 800s. And then you come down here, there are some that have Lexile levels here. You see 690, 610, those are going to be a little bit easier to read if you want something that's a little bit of an easier read. If you find that you've chosen one that you're really interested in and you're struggling with the words and you're having a hard time with it, then check the Lexile level and you can always go back to your table of contents and choose something that's a little bit lower if that would help you. Okay, so that's what you're going to do is first decide how many you want to do and choose the texts that you want to read. So let's say that I am very interested in like text number 2, for example. This is about some Mexican American children who were sent to separate schools in California in the 1940s, similar to segregation that we had in during the civil rights movement. And so we're going to go down. Let's check that text out. It's text number 2, and it's called Separate is Never Equal. So I'm going to come down to that text, and I'm just going to scroll through past this first text, and let's say that I'm interested in this one. Here it is. So it starts here, Separate is Never Equal, Sylvia Mendez and her family's fight for desegregation. And I see that this is a Lexile measure of 930, so I feel like I want to try this because I'm really interested. Each one of the texts is also going to start with a picture and a caption here to tell you a little bit more about it. And then you're going to read through. The texts themselves are not very long. Most of them are about 2 to 3 pages. Okay, so you can see this one is one full page and just a little piece of the first page and the last page. So I'm going to read through that text. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my project organizer. And this is where I need to fill this out as I read the text. Now you can either print this and fill it out by writing on it if that's easier for you. But if you don't have a printer and you want to do it on your computer, if you have a tablet, you could actually write on it if you have like a writing app on your tablet or a phone, or you can go and just type in it. You can insert a text box if you know how to do that, or you could just type. Like I can type Mrs. Edwards, and it's okay if your lines go off from where you want to. And then the text title, I need to make sure that I include the title of this one is called Separate is Never Equal. And I'm not going to have you do, if you don't want to have to do all of that, I can just put Separate is Never Equal. That's close enough. So I'll type in here, Separate is Never Equal. Okay, so I have my title, and again, it doesn't matter to us if the lines go off just a little bit, we will be able to figure it out. So I look at my first box and it tells me who is the main person or group that this text was about. So if I go back to my text and I look, it looks like, now granted, you're going to want to read through the text to make sure. It looks like that this text is about the Mendez family. It says Sylvia Mendez and her family's fight for desegregation, or it might be about the whole group of these Mexican American children. So you're going to fill that in back over here. So I might put the Mendez family and other Mexican American children. Okay, and I might even want to tell a little bit more information like where they lived or the time frame or something like that. So you go in and you type whatever is appropriate here to match your text. And you're going to go through each one of these sections as you read and write down, and you can just look at them ahead of time. If you print it, you could highlight like we do in class often. You're going to write down what challenge those people faced, and then you're going to include some details that were interesting to you about their life or their challenge. For example, how did that challenge cause a problem for them in their life? How did they overcome that challenge? How did it affect other people around them? You know, did someone choose to help them with their challenge or something like that? So you're going to choose 3 details that were the most interesting to you. Make sure for these that you write a complete sentence, please. Now, you only need 1 sentence for each of them. And for this information, this doesn't have to be a complete sentence, even the challenge doesn't have to be, but for these 3 details, we are asking that you give us at least 1 complete sentence. And then finally, right at the bottom, it has a spot for you to add a reflection. And what we put here is, why did you choose this text, or describe your personal connection or feelings? So for example, let's say that you know someone that that didn't fit in well and they struggled with that, and you found a text that related to that. One of the texts is about a child with Down syndrome. Maybe you know someone with Down syndrome, and that you felt a connection there, and so you were interested in reading that. And then maybe it inspired you to feel differently, to treat others differently, or something like that. So I'm just asking for maybe a sentence here to just kind of describe your connection with that story. And that's it. So you'd be done then with text number 1 after you complete that. And then if you scroll down, you'll see that we've included enough pages here so you don't have to keep saving this and doing it again and again. We have them where you're ready to start your next new form. So you have to do, if you would like to get the points for this, again, the whole assignment is optional, but you have to do at least 3. If you would like to get the 3 points, you can do 4 if you would like to get 4 points, and you can do 5 if you would like to get 5 points, okay? And those are the only choices. If you do less than 3, if you do 2 or 1, then we can't give you any points. We can't give you just 1 point or 2 point. That is just part of the policy of what Shelby County Schools has given us in order to give you this option to raise your grade from quarter 3, okay? And so if I look back at the directions, this is going to be something that you want to refer back to often so that you see everything that I just showed you is detailed here. But I want to show you right here, how do I submit to my teacher? Okay, because you have 4 different options for how to submit it. If it's easy for you to do what I just did by completing it on the computer, typing it in, save it, and email it back to us, that's completely fine. If you aren't in a computer, you just have a phone, for example, and it's hard to type in it, and you want to just print those out and write them, that's completely fine. And then you take a picture of them and email us the picture. Or let's say that you don't have a printer at home that you can use, so you're just going to write your information on some blank paper. What you would do is write those headings down for each one in the graphic organizer that you see here. You're going to write the name, your name, and then the text title, and you just need to include each of these categories: who the person was, their challenge, the 3 details, and your reflection. Okay, so that would be okay if you just want to write it down. And again, you would just take a picture of each of those and send them to us. And then finally, let's say that you have your phone and you can get the email with this information, but you don't have a way right now to either print the information or to take a picture and write. Maybe you don't have enough materials at home to write it down, and it's not easy for you to do that. Then you can let us know, any of your reading teachers, arrange a time, and we will connect with you through either phone. We can do a Zoom call, and you can tell us your answers and explain it. You will want to make sure that you're prepared for that ahead of time so that you're ready to do that, okay? And so we just wanted to make sure that you had this information available. If you have any questions, you can go back and watch this video again, or you can, of course, email any of your reading teachers, and we are here to help you. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this project, and let us know if you need us. Thank you.